Hello guys, and welcome to another Elliott Waves on Cryptos. A bit later today, not on a Friday, certainly as well, but is what this is. And today we're going to have a quick look, of course, as well on BTC as always, and the Quora Inner Cycle team, or community, not team, the team doesn't vote, maybe they vote as well. But the community voted DENT, and it's been long awaited as well, I believe. You know, sometimes I take a few of the options off and allowing something else to pop up, because it gets a bit frustrating. I understand for some as well, having to wait for that long to have analysis on their coin. But I do also on-demand analysis, do not forget guys, so you feel free to contact me. Just a quick reminder, I do run my Telegram channel in case you want to have daily video analysis on BTC, Ethereum and other altcoins. 3 to 4 constant, daily videos, monthly webinars on chain analysis on a weekly basis, access to me in the chat. Also, I recently released my bot. It doesn't trade much, but it has amazing results. If you're interested to join as well on that one, just give me a shout. Don't forget that you can only find my information, guys, on the About section in YouTube, okay? There has been, of course, as always, a lot of scammers around, and they try to scam people, so be careful. My only info is in the About section, under the About section on YouTube. So without further ado, do not forget that this is not educational. This is not financial advice, it's just purely educational. I'm also, guys, planning to do a podcast early next week to discuss a little bit in depth the situation between Ukraine and Russia. You should keep an eye on that, because it's going to be very important to have to actually provide insight to people what's really happening in Ukraine, why everything that we see in the news is taking place. And of course, we're not supposed to believe everything we see in the news. There is a lot of propaganda, and there is a lot of journalists also who just probably just looking to get the headlines, some headlines out first. But anyway, all of that would be included, guys. A lot of topics from what's happening in Ukraine and Russia, between them two, between the NATO, sanctions, you know, what's going on with the markets in general, how are the markets affected by this? Are we running out of time? Are we, because there's an energy crisis that seems to be worsening day in, day out. We're going to discuss central banking, a lot of information there. Probably is going to last maybe over an hour, but I've said enough. I think I should leave something for the actual podcast itself. I'm going to go quickly for BTC and then DENT, guys. Let's jump to the charts. As you well know, the expectation in the long term is a ending diagonal open variation, by the way, right? So ending diagonals contain, they can appear in wave 5 or 6. So they are a 3-3-3-3-3 structure. So they can contain zigzags in the actionary waves, and also zigzags and double zigzags in the reactionary waves. We can see clearly that we'll have a 5-wave move to the downside here. So to me, this looks like some sort of correction that could correct before correcting deeper, and then very likely to get wave C to the downside. That should be the case where we've ended this ending diagonal and we're going to move higher. Theoretically, any low below that low should do it, but we will go with what price action tells us. Okay. Now, the reason, because you know that we were looking for a running flat for a while, the reason that I don't have this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as I've said before many times, because it could be an impulse move to the downside, and that could be a reversal signal, is because I do not really like I'm not favoring this structure as an impulse to the upside. Okay, so the main scenario still remains. That's what we see. I will quickly take you to the alternatives. I'm not gonna take a lot of time because it's getting tiresome. Let me just pull this in here. 1 second. We should be okay now. Is the expanded variation, guys. Actually, let me just go where I've left in case it's a running flat. Okay, this would be 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5 for wave 1. This would be a correction, and we are off to a start. Yeah, to a good start, I would say, even because this is very nicely bought. For wave 3, then 4 and 5. Okay. In case this a repeat is done here, there would be an impulse wave here. Now, the other variation that has way more downside is closer to the main. It's an extended wave 3, which means that what we are currently seeing, of course, that's not the case over here. That should be lower down. We only see wave 1, okay, and that will be 2. And then we'll get 3, 4, and 5 for further downside. That would be minuet and blue, and let's drag this over. That would be it. So we are still expecting an ABC correction internally here, guys, and then we are going to continue lower down. So this is the first wave of the third wave of 3. Okay, running flat with C. The other case would be the double triangle, guys, which means we have a WX and we're gonna get a triangle in wave Y. That still has similar short-term view anyway. Equally, we could get something like a flat in the last wave Y. And of course, the last scenario is that we have ended up here in 5 waves. Okay, and this is now, sorry, should be intermediate. This is going to be very bearish to the downside. Okay, now though, the medium term in this case would be something like this. Okay, and that could be a case, you know, I mean, it can be still ABC and ABC, and we might see. Actually, let me just quickly check that. Did we do the 90%? No, we didn't. Can it be assumed as done, or the rule says 90%? I'm not, you know, I'll be honest, I will have to check on, this is Coinbase, I will have to check on others as well, but let's assume that is not done. Okay, that's the right thing to do, but it really looks like an ABC here, an ABC, and we get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for a flat with an extended C, and then continue lower down. So if we see an expanded flat here, a flat with an extended wave C, that will most likely be the case. So we will be looking for the 1618 or the one, well, no, that would be too deep. If we stop around the 5240, 5435, that would probably be the case. So let me just drag this in the bear scenario as well. That should do it. Now, jumping off to the short term for the main, of course. And oops, 1 second. This is what I see. So I'm going to go down in the 1 hour, guys. This to me looks like a WX and Y, as I have explicitly said a million times. 5 wave move to the downside for wave A. Okay, I expect a correction in wave B, and then a continuation up in wave C of B. And once this is done, I will be looking for a 5 wave move to the downside. I would actually say a motive wave. It's not a 5, yeah, it is a 5 wave move as well, but it's either going to be an ending diagonal or an impulse. Now, there is very good indication of this is decent, but look at this correction as well. This rejection as well is very big. So there is here 2 scenarios I'm looking in the short term, guys. This is leading 1, 2, 3, and 5. We ended W, X, Y, or ABC, ABC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll go up. So we are expecting a correction, and that correction can take us down to the 38.2. Okay, that will be around the 38K. That makes a decent level, but it could even go lower. And the other scenario is going to be a case where might be 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and we might get 5. So the ended diagonal might finish up around the 41K or so. And then we see B, and then we see C. Okay. Don't forget now, this is supposed to be an ABC correction, right? So the wave B can literally be anywhere, guidelines between 38 and 62%. But knowing cryptos correct quite deeply, it might be a case where it's going to correct deeply. Now, I want to see if there is confluence here to match with traditional TA, and I want you to see the 62 around 36.50. And I want you to see these guys, head and shoulders. That would be a potential scenario. Now, if we do see that, well, the chances are going to be favoring more upside. Okay, even like the low being in the previous swing low, right? Why? Because inverse head and shoulders at lows are a very, very strong reversal signal, and they tend to occur more often than, and are tend to follow up with a reversal more often than top the casual ones. Okay, so this is also what I see in the shorter term, guys, for the main, of course, right? Now going to DENT, I don't remember when it was the last time. It was probably back, maybe even a year ago, guys, that I did DENT, honestly. So I'm going to go out here. I'm going to show you the main. Just as a reminder, we should have some data here coming all the way down here. So for that reason, I've called this an ABC. You might ask why ABC and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, because we are still in wave 1, around 3 cents here, 2.2 cents, guys. The high for DENT was 12 cents. Okay, so ABC, and we'll be lucky if we go back to 12, right? By the looks of it, in the longer term, yes. But for now, we cannot assume that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but an ABC. Okay, which means when we go to 12, we can reassess if we go there. So the main scenario is this. We're looking for a 5-wave move to the upside here that completed wave 1. Okay, and from there, we are looking now for W, X, and Y. So judging by the fact that we have not had a low in yet, okay, for wave Y, we need to, we have to assume that this sort of ended diagonal that we're looking for here in wave C has not ended. Ended diagonals contain zigzags. So this is ABC to me, ABC, ABC, ABC. I'm looking for A, B, and C. And the moment, guys, we're gonna go down to around 1.5, 0.15, sorry. Then this will be the moment that will make a very, very good opportunity to go in long term. Now, if we look at the FIBO extension as well, okay, it just comes a little bit lower than the 61.8, so it makes perfect sense. It could extend lower, okay, I'm not saying it couldn't, but it's highly unlikely it will go down there if this is an ending diagonal, and it really looks like an ending diagonal, unless if someone comes and tells me this is 1 and 2, right? And this is like something like 1 and 2, and we'll get 3, 4, and 5, and then 3, 4, and 5. Not actually, not if someone comes and tells me. It is something that is highly unlikely because of the structures over here. Okay, they are highly corrective. So B and one more leg down, C, go for a double bottom and continue the upside, and the upside of course is going to be massive. Now, because the reality is maybe DENT is not going to be voted again soon, if we see something like this, well, that is why I hate using fibs. There is something wrong with the trading view calculation, I'm telling you. So we're looking at 4 cents at least for wave 3. Yeah. Perhaps even an extension to around the previous high, who knows. But depending on where wave 3 is going to end, we can then assimilate that information to see whether wave 5 can reach the previous high of 12 cents, right? So the longer term looks like it's good, because ideally we'll go back to the previous high, but I would not be surprised if we don't, because don't forget, guys, having a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here could also mean that this is the end of it, and we're just gonna keep going down and going down and going down. But I doubt this is the case. So this is one of the scenarios, right? The second scenario, and it's very easy to identify, by the way, as well, it's this. We have not finished wave 5 yet, okay? And this is simply wave 3, and we're looking for a correction now. So this correction, judging by the fact that we have lower highs and higher lows, suggests that this could turn out being some sort of triangle, okay? And should we see prices really getting a bit bullish in the medium term, then that getting around the 0.6 cents is going to provide us a bit more guidance, obviously. But until then, and if we assume the main scenario, a break outside this sort of trend line would very likely, suggest, especially if we break below A, that there is no triangle here. If that happened anyway, we'll be looking for wave 5 higher, which means we're going to get a limited upside move in the medium and long term, I would say, and then a much bigger decline in wave 2, because don't forget, in the first case, our wave 2 is about to be done. In the latter case, we still have one leg up, limited, then the correction, and then continuation to the upside, okay? Now, looking also at the looking also at where we've gone up to or down to, we've done about 45%, I would say. So going down to 50% at 0.12, it won't be a surprise. But as I said before, to me, it looks like the wave B, and it has to be limited, okay? It has to be limited. If we judge by the timing, we should be looking at 1.4 or something, okay? Which is just below the previous low. I'm looking for a double bottom, pretty much. Now, someone might come in and say, well, dude, what if we finished, and this is like a 5-way move to the upside? Fine, that's also possible. Why? Because we can have that as one, and this is an ABC anyway. So it could be a case that wave 2 is here as well, okay? That is one. Very same wave 2, either finished or we're gonna get one more done, but we don't need it now, since we are not really bothered with this low. If this is 1 and 2, we don't want to go down there. It will invalidate its structure, and with that 90% as well. So just keep in mind as well that it could be a case 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and that's my wave 2. And then that is 1, A, B, and C, which is, by the way, a regular flat with an extended C, and from there we'll continue all the way up. I think, though, and that's why I leave it in last, that this is a bit less likely than the rest of the pattern. So, guys, I'm going to leave it here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have, of course, any questions, don't hesitate to get in touch through the comments, or in case you want to trial any of the things I'm doing, check my YouTube channel details, and just shoot me a message. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll be here again soon.